weirdos.
Weird science is the revolution. Weird science is the revolution.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Weird Science Comics YouTube channel, where I'm going to be reviewing Action Comics number 1053. And while most agree that Philip Kennedy Johnson's War World saga was one of the best Superman stories in the last bunch of years, unfortunately nobody was buying it. So instead of getting a new creative team, DC decided to go old school and turn Action Comics into an anthology comic. While that's cool, and it's 3 stories for $4.99, are all 3 stories good? Well, let's find out. Before we do, though, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, like the video, enable the notifications, and tell me what you thought of Action Comics number 1053 in the comments below. And here we go. First up is the main story by Philip Kennedy Johnson with art by Rafa Sandoval. I thought this was one of the best stories by Philip Kennedy Johnson so far. We get an unhinged Metallo and his converted Blue Earthers attacking the Super family, and while the heroes do win the battle, Supergirl is in bad condition, and you get a great Superman moment between Kal-El and Kong Kenan. Not only that, but this story ties into what Joshua Williamson is doing over on the Superman book when a pissed-off Superman flies off to confront the imprisoned Lex Luthor. The dialogue between Lex and Superman is outstanding, and in the end, it looks like it's Metallo's War World tech suit is what's playing mind games with him, though Lex admits he knows more than he is telling. Now, while that's going on, back at the Kent house, John has to watch the Super Twins, Otho and Osul, but when we see that he is kind of jealous at the attention that the twins are getting, and it does tie into the childhood he lost because of Bendis, his grandfather in Ultraman. This is one of the few times we've seen John show any ill effects from aging up in a volcano on Earth 3, and while I wish it could have played out over a couple of issues and not just get resolved here in a couple of pages, it was still nice to see. The problem is, when John is making things good with Osul, Otho has gone off and done something that, if true, I can't see how she can come back from. Now, the story continues to show that Philip Kennedy Johnson understands Superman and the Super family, but it also makes the Dawn of DC Super books more cohesive by tying into Joshua Williamson's Superman book as well. So I'm really pleased with that. Next up is the Dan Jurgens and Lee Weeks Young John Doombreaker story, and it's a good story. I almost want to just call it nice, but Doombreaker just is horrific, especially seeing him sneaking into a little boy's tree fort. Very, very sus. Now, John being whisked away by a space princess in peril reminds me a bit of the Maxima stuff we got in the past with Superman, but I wonder if this will have any meaning in the current present stories by the end. You know, that will give it some more weight to it, but I still enjoy it, and I still will take anything with young John in it. And it is nice that it doesn't always just have to be a Super Sons book, and that's no shade at the Super Sons there. So that is it, right? Wait, there's one more story, and I'm sure that people are waiting for this one. Leah Williams and Margaret Savage's Power Girl story is complete and utter bullshit. Actually, the art's good for what Savage gets to do here, but Leah Williams should not be writing Power Girl. The fact that you could make a legit and valid argument that she actually isn't even writing Power Girl says a lot. Power Girl in the story is angry at everyone, says the Super family hates her, and even tells John that she doesn't remember her Kryptonian name. Really? She talks about Kara throughout this issue, even saying that she is Kara beta version, yet doesn't remember she has the same name as Supergirl since she is Kara Zor-El from Earth 2. She doesn't remember that. It doesn't make any sense, but it makes sense that Leah Williams doesn't know this or remember it. Throw in the new Lazarus Reign telepathy, John deciding to call Power Girl Paige. It's obvious that DC doesn't pay Leah Williams to write Power Girl. They're paying her to destroy her. And just a side note to all those people losing their minds about how much DC has changed Tim Drake. Seriously, where are all your videos about Power Girl? Because this shit is nonsense. And thankfully, though, the story's over, at least in this book. It's going to continue on after a stupid cliffhanger It'll continue on in a Power Girl special that probably me and everybody else will avoid. So I hate to even include the Power Girl story into my rating, but I kind of have to. So I am giving this still an 8 out of 10. I like the Dan Jurgens and the Philip Kennedy Johnson stories enough that they overcome the complete, utter nonsense of Leah Williams' Power Girl. But without it, I would definitely give this a 9. And I still think people should buy it. Just pretend it ends after the Dan Jurgens story. Just pretend it's over. Shut it and put it away. Don't look any further, and you will thank me later. But that is it. It's a really good book, one of the stronger Dawn of DC books. But, there's not that many of those yet. So it's also one of the stronger just DC books in general. I think everybody should grab it and read it. So that is that. Thanks, everybody. Let me know what you think of this issue of Action Comics in the comments below, and I will talk to you all later.
You are all weirdos.
Weird science is the revolution. Weird science is the revolution.